What's up, guys? It's Aaron, the trucking guy. I wanted to make a quick video on how to use the DAT and truck stop load boards to book freight on your phone. When I was booking, I don't anymore. We have dispatchers, but when I was booking, was my favorite method, just because I was always on the go or doing something. I run several other companies, so this was an easy way for me to get the guys booked or stay on top of it. Keep in mind, though, that there is a lag between the desktop version and this version. So there might be loads on the live feed on the pro version of DAT and the truck stop version that pop up, and you never even see them on the mobile app because they'll pop up. It's like a 3 to 5 minute delay, I believe. I've talked to people at DAT and truck stop. And you won't even see those loads because they'll pop up and be gone in the same instance, and they'll never hit the mobile app. Or if you guys that use the mobile app and you're just looking at this for a few tips maybe that can help you, you'll see those loads pop up and they'll disappear, and you'll be like, man, what the heck happened? Or you'll call and that load is already gone. The reason why it's already gone is because somebody refreshed their feed before yours, or they were using the live version and it went that much faster. So let's get right into it. If we were going to book, we would just start with a new search. It's going to pop up like this. You would say from where to where. Let's go from like ATL to, let's say, Atlanta, Georgia. I always went to anywhere. Truck type, we run flatbed, but a lot of you guys that are Hotshot, this is how you're going to want to book. Put as many of these as you can if you fit the description. If you're air ride, do air ride, flatbed, flatbed Hotshot, flatbed step deck, flatbed with tarps. If you are a team, put flatbed with team. Step deck, you always want to put step deck because the Hotshot trailers are the same height as step deck. Obviously, if you're not the same height, then this won't apply to you. But basically, you would click done. With Hotshots, if you're 40 foot or under, that's how you want to run it. You could put a little bit bigger, and sometimes they'll come up and be the right length for you. But with Hotshot, we always run about 20,000 pounds and under. For full partial, what that means is full truckload, or a part of a truck, or half of a truck, or a partial piece of a truck, because everything is measured in 53-foot truckload lengths in the trucking industry. So you guys are getting into it. 53 foot is the standard. So if you're talking about a partial, that would be a piece of a 53-foot truck. Even though your truck is 40 foot, 40-foot trucks are not classified as full truckloads. 53-foot truckloads are full truckloads. So basically on this situation, I would run both, okay? Because you would get the full and you would get the partial to pop up, okay? On the start date, you don't want to run way out. Say you were going to look in a range from here to the 16th. What happens, and if you're looking for that range, it's good. But if you're not and you put that range in, if you're looking for Monday to book your truck, or possibly Tuesday, you will get loads that are for Friday sometimes, and you're just wasting your time, and you're wasting that person's time, and you don't want to call. So I always, if I'm looking the day of, I just set it up for the day of, save myself inconvenience from looking at loads that I don't want to look at or waste my time or the broker or customer's time. So here it gave us some feed. You can see if I refresh it, sometimes it'll pop up another load, sometimes it won't, but you would consistently have to just sit here and refresh every little bit to get the new loads that pop up, okay? And they will pop up occasionally. Sometimes they won't change for quite some time, an hour. It just depends on the time of day. Right now, where we're at, it's about 2 o'clock, so it's a little late in the day. The best time to look for loads is really early in the morning. You want to start at, 5, 6 a.m., some of these brokers don't wake up till 10. Sometimes there's a lag from the West Coast to the East Coast. Keep that in mind. But basically, say this was the load you were looking at, Commerce, Georgia to Grand Tower, Illinois. This is a 30-foot load. It's 16,000 pounds. It's posted as a flatbed Hotshot load. It could be a flatbed or a Hotshot, and it's 515 miles. It doesn't have a rate on here. Normally, there is some stuff in here. You can say, how do I book loads? You can say in here that, usually there's a phone number that you can call. You'll click that phone and get on the phone with them quickly if there's an offer. If there's not an offer, sometimes the offer will be listed in the description, and sometimes it's not, okay? But if it is listed in the description, you can call that way, or there's a call now button. It's not posted because I don't use this app anymore. It's probably just the free version. So, but basically this is how you would look at the loads. Sometimes the rate is posted, sometimes it's not. Now, for instance, this is Atlanta to Savannah, 30 foot, 4,000 pounds. It's 57 minutes old. Pick up today. They probably want that delivered straight through. It's paying $1,100 on 248 miles. Pretty good rate. So you would basically click on the call now button, get on the phone with these people fairly quick. Say, hey, this is so-and-so with so-and-so trucking. I'm calling about your Atlanta, Georgia to Savannah, Georgia. And they'll say, okay, yeah, it's 30 foot, 4,000 pounds, 248 miles, $1,100. my first question always was, what is the commodity? Because that makes a big difference when you're booking. How long it's going to take to load, how long it's going to take to strap it down, how long it's going to take to pick it up, as well as if you know what the commodity is. Sometimes if you've run a fleet like ours, we pick up at a lot of the same places. So if they say, hey, the commodity is this, I might have already picked up there. I know how long it takes to pick up. I know those people. I know if they're going to be respectful to my driver. I know how long it's going to take me to get across Atlanta to get to that particular place, because I've actually driven truck and went across there to pick it up. To pick up those commodities. Some of these shippers are, they're conglomerates, and they ship a lot of stuff out of the same facility. So in the event you find something like this, it's a container or whatever, you can see it's 161 miles, $400, 0 deadhead, going to Montgomery. Not a bad load, $2 a mile, but if it's a container, it may not be for you. But basically, this is kind of, you just stroll through here, you find the particular lane and load that you want. You want to go from Birmingham to Jacksonville, Florida. You want to go from here to here, and that's how you can set it up, okay? But the main thing is, as soon as you click on it, get on the phone with them. If you like the load, click call. Don't wait. Don't think about it. Don't wait to see if the rate's going to come up. Get on the phone quickly and negotiate that rate. Negotiate that load. And get, to be first in line. Because it's almost like calling to get a prize at a radio station. There might be 100 people about to call on that same load, and if you're not, first, you're last, basically. So as you can see, I updated it, I refreshed it, and it came back with another load, Georgia to Little Rock, Arkansas. But this kind of gives you a little bit of an example of how it runs. It's not a live feed unless you're on your desktop version, okay? So I recommend, if you're going to do this full time as a company, or if you want to be a little bit more professional, get the desktop versions. But if this is super convenient, a lot of drivers use this just because when they're on the road, it's an easy way to, when they're off, sitting waiting on to get unloaded, or they're at the truck stop on the 30-minute break, they can pull through this on their phone quickly and book a load right from their phone. If we get into Truck Stop here, basically this is the homepage of Truck Stop. You would click search now, go to where you want to go, Atlanta, Georgia. You can scroll your feed here to see, what range you want to go in. I always start at about 150 miles for a Hotshot truck. Semi, you want to go a little bit less. And I do this for the first hour. After that, I would always go up to about 200 miles. And anything from 200 miles on, you're talking about a 4-hour drive, 5 hours sometimes. You'd be looking for the next day, correct? So the pickup date, if we were looking, is going to be for today. But what's nice about this one is I'm at a 200-mile deadhead. If I want to look for today and tomorrow, you would do it like that. But you don't ever want to leave this open, because it will book. There might be people posting loads for every day of the month, and they're a huge conglomerate brokerage or shipper. So they're going to post for the 30th, and you're calling trying to book your truck on the 8th. You're wasting your time and their time, okay? So book on the day that you're actually going to, or look on the day that you're actually going to book the truck. So I would 8th and 9th. So we're just going to look for the 8th. Any equipment. Now, on the app on Truck Stop, it's a little bit more limited. It doesn't give you the ability to book or pick more options, right? So you can go, if we were going to do flatbed and a Hotshot, I would do flatbed. I would pick Hotshot. It gives you the ability to do 3, and I'd pick step deck. Okay, as you can see, it whites out all the other ones, so you're not able to do it. If you want to get on the desktop version, I believe it allows you to do more or pick more options. But you could do team, you can do Hotshot air ride, flatbed air ride. Here you could click that. There's many other ways, but those are the main 3 on the app that I would pick: is flatbed, Hotshot, and step deck. If you're running a 40-foot Hotshot or a step deck or a flatbed, that's step deck height. Now, here is where you'll go to your load size, posting age, trailer options, tarp, hazardous, pallet, team, expedited. You would always go here. Now, for Hotshots, for some reason, if I click truckload, you have truckload, less than truckload, intermodal, partial, dryage, and so on, right? You're not gonna, none of those really apply to you unless you're in specialized. But if you were to pick truckload and you click done and you click search, right, at 200 miles, you can see that it's going to pop up so many loads that it's just absolutely crazy to pick through them. You've got 6,122 loads, right? So how do you pick the best load in this type of freight? If you're booking a 53 dry van, if you're booking a 53 step deck, you're going to want to get on the desktop version and be a little bit more specific with your search. Less deadhead, maybe say 50 miles or less, and a little bit more specific, right? But for Hotshot, that's not what we're going to do. you always want to, with the app, in my opinion, and everybody's different, when you go to more options, you would take this from truckload to partial on truck stop for that. Okay, I'm going to bump this down to about 150 miles around Atlanta, because Atlanta's a pretty good area. You don't really have to deadhead that far in Atlanta to get a load. There's plenty of places. But now you can see we went to 111 loads. So everybody says that, you know, in Hotshot, why, you know, one of the big questions is, why would you pick a Hotshot truck over a semi, right? The availability is right there. You go from 6,100 loads to 111 loads of possible matches that you may want to pick from. Now, out of those 111, there may only be 5 to 10 that you would even consider a good load, or rate, you know, rate that you want to haul for, or lane that you want to go down. So there's really not 111, you know, available. That's just what is out there posted, okay? You got some really bad, you know, rates per mile. But this is basically how you're going to get into it. So in this situation, as you can see, it has the phone. So what I would do here, and I'm going to do one as an example, say this is the load I wanted. Now this is coming up as 48,000 pounds. This is an error. It should not be as a partial. They booked it as a partial, probably because it's 48 feet, maybe not a full 53. But say this is an example of one that you wanted. It's with TQL. I'll call them because it's an automated system and a broker won't pick up right away. But Montgomery, Alabama to Laredo, Texas. I could click here and it would bring up my, which is actually the heading of the load, and that'll bring up my details. And you can go down here to special instructions, special information. It says call so-and-so, the load is 20,500 pounds, and the posting ID, which you'll have to give that to TQL when you call them, right? But when you're calling this load, sometimes they don't have a phone number in there. They only have the email. So say that happens, you can actually, as you can see, click call, okay? Or you can click on the load again on the heading, and you can email them right there from your email. That's how that load would run. So the first thing you want to do is get on the phone. Now, sometimes when it pulls this number up, this may be their corporate number and not the number to the broker. So if you scroll up into the description where it says special information, you can call this number, and this number might be the direct line to that broker. So that's faster. So whereas if you're trying to beat somebody and you click here and you go to that person might have already done that, and they're on the phone on their corporate line, and you can't, you would save a couple steps by if you just click the actual post heading, scroll up, and go straight to that individual. They're still on hold at the corporate line, and you're on phone with them first. So that's kind of just my recommendation. But I always look at the description. I always look at the description. Unless the load is really good. Now, say you're scrolling through here. I'm going to refresh this again. You can refresh by pulling it down, and it'll bring up new loads, okay? Or you can click refresh there on the top right-hand side of the screen, and it'll do it as well. But say this is the load you want, $1,600, 671 miles for a semi. It's not that great, but not that bad either. So if you were really excited before you went into the details and that was like, holy smokes, that's a really good load, click call, get on super quick. And then once you do that, you can go back while you're on the phone with them, put them on speaker or whatever, and you can look at the details, but you're on the phone first, hopefully before the next person. If not, then you missed the load. But if you're on phone with them and you pull it down, okay, and you see that it needs a Conestoga and you don't have that equipment, well, you can just get off the phone call really quick, okay? You can hang up, and they don't care. They get hundreds of phone calls a day, so it's not going to bother them. It never bothered me. Never heard anybody have a problem with it. But you basically just hang up. They're going to let the next one go, or you could say, sorry, wrong load, or sorry, wrong person. But basically, that is how you would get to it very quickly. Or if you pulled it up, the description and special information was good. Now you're on the phone with them. You can negotiate rate. You can do what you need to do, okay? So you would just stay scrolling through. Sometimes if you're booking, you know, like when I was booking 8 to 10 trucks, you know, you're constantly scrolling through here. It is hard on your eyes, but you have to be quick about deciphering the information, right? So that's basically what you have to get really good at being a dispatcher, is deciphering information. You're taking, you know, Alabama to Arkansas, 450, 300 miles. The brokerage that it's with, you're going to learn which ones have good credit, which ones have bad credit, which ones you don't like to work with, which ones you like. And you might deal with a lot of the same people. You know, I know a lot of these people by name, by first name at some of these brokerages, so I'm able to call them. I may even have their cell number. So if you've done it for a while and this number is their corporate number, or even if you pull it up and it has their corporate number for the phone call, and then down here it has another number, you may actually get you may have the phone number to that individual. So you're saving time by already knowing that broker, by already being set up with that person. So instead of clicking on this, you're like, oh, hey, I know the guy over there that's doing this. You would just call him. You would go through your contacts, pull it up, and call him, get on the phone with him. And you may have beat out the guy that's waiting online, or, you know, on the corporate phone or whatever. So that's kind of my 2 cents, guys. You know, that's how you would filter. You can do the book it now, you know, turn that on, and it'll filter loads that only book now. For Hotshot, that hasn't really been available. I've noticed it's more with dry van, with like the JB Hunt stuff. A lot of the big conglomerates have used that. Schneider, they've got the book it now option, but some of them have not. The smaller brokerages haven't really took advantage of that yet. But that's basically it, guys. If you're really interested in more dispatching information, I'm not really doing like a dispatching class. Shaggy's consulting and training is. Several other friends of mine are. You can reach out to dispatch companies and have them dispatch for you for a while, and kind of, if you're going to set up a contract with them, say, hey, I want to book some of my own stuff as well as I want you to book if you can. If not, just have them do it for you, and you can kind of learn things as you're making money. You don't want to learn on your own dime. If you can avoid it, you want to learn on somebody else's. So if you can get a good dispatch company that can keep you booked at $2, $3, $4 a mile, then you can, and people say, oh, that's crazy, nobody's getting that. We are. Okay, I have guys that are getting, $2 something consistently, $3, $4, even $6 a mile loads here recently. And I don't mean 6 on 100 miles as in $600. I mean 6 on 1,000 miles, $6,000, guys. So it can be done. We're doing it. It's all about, being specialized, having really good clients, and we've been in it a long time, so that makes a big difference. The longer you're in this game, the older that MC number is, the more, you look like a veteran and you can handle more difficult things. Getting into oversized loads, and those high numbers are oversized freight, specialized freight. They're not going to pay that on a dry van, basic stuff that anybody can do, right? You got to be specialized to make that kind of money. I know hauling boats, yachts, major, huge things that's more specialized, or you have specialized equipment, they're going to pay you specialized money for that, guys. But that's just, a quick little tidbit video on how to get on your phone and use those 2 apps. And you need to have both of them and piggyback between the 2, because some brokers like to post on Truckstop but don't use DAT, or some brokers have DAT and don't, or DAT and don't post on Truckstop. So if you're not switching back and forth, even for that same truck, say you're only booking 1 truck, those apps are $30 a piece a month, I think, or 40. So it's a very minimal amount of money. But if you just had one, you're going to be limited, because, when I was booking mini trucks, I used those as well as I had like Landstar Board, the C.H. Robinson, Carrier Portal, everybody, all the other ones, right? So when you're looking at that, as well as I had relationships and people emailing me every day, and I did a lot more calling than I did just looking at load boards to say, hey, what do you got, things like that. And I would dispatch the truck strategically to put them in areas that I knew I had, friends in that I could book a load with. So just keep that in mind. You can switch back and forth and say, okay, if a load pops up, oh, there's one on Truckstop, and keep it under, in the same where you can do it quickly, then you're able to be a little bit more successful and have an advantage over the next guy. I've met people on the road. I've met people, online that said, oh, I'm not using Truckstop. I'm only going to use DAT, or screw DAT. I only use Truckstop. And I'm just like, why, man? Because there's been days that I've been, if I would have done that, I know for a fact trucks would have been sitting. As many years as I've been dispatching, I know for a fact that if I wouldn't have switched over and found this load on Truckstop, it wasn't even listed on DAT. Or if I'd have found this load on DAT, it wasn't even listed on Truckstop, or the Landstar portal, or the even 123 board. I've used them when I've gotten kind of nothing going on, and somebody posted on a 123 board or something. For Hotshot, 123 is a little bit. It's not there. In my opinion, it's just not there. It's not worth it. There's not gonna be anything on there. I have not really tried it for dry van or truckload stuff. I think the truckload is more where it's at over there, but in my opinion, the 2 major freight markets are going to be DAT and Truckstop. DAT is the oldest. They actually, Truckers Edge, I believe it was, came out with the app. DAT didn't have the app right about when I was getting into trucking, and they purchased, I believe, Truckers Edge and then created the app to bring it, right to your phone where you can use it in the truck and so on and so forth. So you don't have to get online and do it on the desktop version. But the desktop version are a little bit more money. I think they're about $100 a month for the pro version on DAT, and it's 70 or 80. It might be 100 on Truckstop as well. I haven't done it in a while. We have dispatchers. I don't know. I don't pay those type of things. The wife handles all the payroll and stuff, but those have big advantages. One, the live feed, you're going to see loads on there that you can do more filters. You can have alarms set up so it'll ding, There's also the truckload robot that you can have him pull the best load in the area, and it'll pop up for you. So there's other things to do on a desktop that you can't really do on a phone, but that's a quick way to do it on a phone. This is just a quick video to give you guys that are coming into it a little bit of an advantage, to over the next guy that doesn't know this stuff. I think I didn't even know to search for step deck stuff for the first 90 days I was in business. And then somebody told me, man, you got to be looking for step deck loads, because a lot of these loads, they post them as a step deck. It can actually go on a Hotshot. So that's my 2 cents, guys. It's the trucking guy. I'm signing off again. If you need anything, please feel free to reach out. We'd love to help you. Have a great day.